So you've decided to buy a fixer-upper. That's great. Good for you. What made you make that decision? Are you a narcissist or a masochist, or you just like punishing yourself? Or maybe you found a great deal and you want to fix it up as an owner-occupied house and then eventually rent it once it's ready to go. In this video, we'll cover different things you might run into, how to find the property, and we'll review a property that is a fixer-upper. Okay, here we go. So when you get a fixer-upper, you probably are getting a discount on the property. Make sure when you're looking at the property that you look around within a mile or two of the home to make sure you're getting a good enough discount to justify the expense you're going to need to fix the house. What qualifies as a fixer-upper? Maybe there's a distressed home where the owner just didn't have enough money and has to get out of it. Maybe it's a foreclosure and it's been sitting there for a year or two. Or it's possibly a desperate seller that needs to go and doesn't have the cash to invest in the property, fix it up, or stay in the property. Those are all things that could lead you to get a discount on a property that is a fixer-upper. And we'll go to our next slide. Alrighty, with the extent of repairs that you'll need, you can initially take a look online at the property. Hopefully there's videos or pictures posted of the inside and outside of the property. And you want to take a look from the top to the very bottom of the property. Start with the roof. Check that out. If you're in person, definitely get a good picture up close of some of the roof problems that are probably going to happen there. Take a look at the siding, make sure it's in good condition or bad condition and figure that into your repairs. Move inside and check out the ceiling. Remember, top to bottom. You can miss things if you don't go from top to bottom. So check out the ceiling, see if there's any leaking or watermarks or anything going on from the poor roof that's on your fixer-upper. From the ceiling, move down to the interior walls and see if there are any leaking or watermarks going down the walls, holes in the wall, chips, scuffs, scratches, missing paint, needs paint, whatever might be needed with the walls. Check out the interior fixtures from the top to the bottom, ceiling to the floor. You have lighting in the ceiling. You might have plugs in the ceiling. You might have wires hanging out of the ceiling. Who knows? Check the walls for the sockets. Are they 2-prong or are they 3-prong grounded outlets? It's best to take a $10 or $15 ground tester with you and plug it into the sockets to make sure they're grounded so you know how much electrical work you're going to be getting into. Check out the interior cabinets. You can have cabinets in laundry rooms, kitchens, wherever there's cabinets. Check them out. See if they're reusable. You can save a ton of money by refinishing cabinets as opposed to replacing them. Check out the electrical. Go look, take pictures of, open up the panel inside the house. Take detailed pictures of it with all the wires. See if it's 100 amp, 150 amp, 200 amp, or possibly 60 amp because it's never been upgraded. If you have electrical problems, you're going to be tearing everything out of your house. Congratulations. Make sure you check out the flooring in each room, and if there's a basement, check out if there's flooring in the basement. If the flooring needs replaced, make sure to make note of that. It's not super expensive, but it will need to be done. With the subfloor, do you notice any soft spots? Walk all over the house. If it's on a crawl space or basement and water's been leaking somewhere, it could be rotted, and then you'll notice it's soft or possibly even holes in it, which is even better for your fixer-upper. You get a better price on it. Is this house on a slab, solid concrete, or is it on a crawl space where you can get down in the crawl space and take some pictures? Or is there a basement where you can go in the basement, take pictures of the ceiling, take pictures of the basement walls? If the basement's flooded, take pictures of that. Check out the foundation. That's the basement walls inside, and you should be able to see some foundation from the outside. Walk all around your fixer-upper and see if there's cracks or anything busted out of the foundation. You'll be fixing that as well. Make sure while you're there, while your realtor's there, that you check the HVAC. Take detailed pictures of the furnace, and if it has central air, take detailed pictures of the condenser outside, or the compressor outside, and the condenser inside, as well as any insulation or anything else on the line set for the central air. The line set's the copper tube that takes all of the Freon back in the house and back out of it. Make sure that's good. In the bathrooms, take a lot of pictures of the bathrooms, or have your realtor or their realtor take pictures of the bathrooms. Is there going to be a complete remodel? You can ask yourself this question. If there is, can you do it? Are you comfortable with plumbing? Can you carry an entire bathtub into that house and put it in where the old bathtub is? Is there enough room to do that? Or it's possible the bathrooms need cleaning only. Maybe some touch-up, maybe some patching of some chips and holes in the wall, whatever. Just take detailed pictures of everything. You can review them later. For the kitchen, how are the cabinets? Are the cabinets usable? Can you refinish them? Are they brand new, maybe? Check out the counters. Does the counter need to be replaced? If so, choose either a high-quality laminate countertop or granite. Granite is affordable enough nowadays that you can put it in a rental property. Check out the lighting in the kitchen. Is it the old fluorescent bar tube lights that they used to have? If it is, plan on replacing that with some new LED lighting. It'll make it a lot better and show better, and tenants will love it. For the landscaping, how many trees are hanging over the house? How many trees have fallen on the house? How much grass is growing up the side of the house? Check all this out. Take pictures of the outside. Take pictures of trees, noting anything that's over the house or garage or any part that has a roof. We want to trim those back to make it a high-quality, low-maintenance, low-cost rental. Check out the grass. With the grass, does it need reseeded? That'll be expensive, just to make it look good and presentable. If your yard is dirt, nobody wants to rent it. Check out other things with the landscaping. Is there mulch? Are there flower beds? Is there something you can do inexpensively and quickly to make it look good from the outside for curb appeal? Okay, next slide. So you've purchased your fixer-upper. What do you fix first? The very first thing is the roof. If the roof needs replaced, do that. Otherwise, you're going to fix all this other stuff in the house. The roof's going to have a leak, and it's going to leak all over everything and ruin it. So fix the roof. You're looking at between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on the size of your house. Typically, if you have a 1,500 square foot house, you can get away with a mid-grade asphalt shingle for around $7,000 on a roof replacement. When they do the roof, check out the gutters too. They might as well do those at the same time because they're going to beat them up anyway. A lot of times a roofing company will go ahead and beat up the gutters, and then they'll say, hey, if you pay for materials, we'll install them for free. All right, on the inside, check out the bathrooms. That's what you'll want to fix first in most cases. As long as the bedrooms are livable, you need to replace a bathroom to make the house comfortable for that portion of your life. You know what I mean. Related to the bathroom is plumbing and floor. So while you're doing the bathroom, make sure you're taking into account you're tearing into plumbing and that there may be some work done with the kitchen. Also, make sure if you want your flooring to match throughout the house that you're doing the flooring at the same time. If you use the LVP or LVT flooring, it's inexpensive and you can put it all in at the same time and it'll last forever. After you get done with those main things, you can switch over to the bedrooms. There typically isn't much, maybe replacing a couple fixtures, a new fan, making sure the plugs all work, maybe replacing the carpet. A lot of times in a bedroom, you switch flooring colors, so it doesn't really matter if it matches the rest of the house because it has that nice little transition piece there. And when the door's closed, you can't tell if there's a different color. Number 5, other interior stuff. You might have like a laundry room or a bonus room or something else that really doesn't matter. At the end, you'll want to make sure that looks decent, so when your tenant moves in and you move out, it's all fixed up and good. For the landscaping, we already talked a little bit about this. Cut those trees back so they're not hanging over the house. Cut the grass. Make sure the grass is 3 inches tall. Everybody goes out there with their mower on the lowest setting they can get it to and mows that grass down to 1/4 inch long so it's really good and they don't have to mow it for another week and a half. What you want to do is make sure your grass is 3 inches long, and you can actually Google how to care for my grass, and they'll tell you a lot of this. But when your grass is longer, it chokes out the weeds and more grass grows, saving you money on grass seed. For mulch, when we looked at the outside of the house when we were buying it, did they have flower beds? What you want to do is find a bulk mulch supplier. They can help you out and give you some curb appeal for a very inexpensive price. Okay, we're going to go look at a property and see if we can estimate how much this bad boy is going to cost to repair. All right, we have this house in Hiram, Georgia. It's listed right here as a fixer-upper, sold as is because you, like we said at the beginning, are a masochist and love to punish yourself. You can move right into this as owner-occupied, probably put down as little as 5% on an FHA loan, so you'd only have maybe $6,000 into moving into this house. You'll probably be able to get it for less than this $109,000 as well because nobody else wants it except you. Okay, so looking at the house, let me see, hard money offers are preferred. There you go. They want instant financing. They're selling $175,000. I don't think so. Full renovation needed. Yes, we know. Okay, so we have a chimney here. We need to pay attention to that. Doesn't look too bad from these pictures. Your home inspector will check that out and let you know if it needs some work. The roof is definitely not looking good. This siding is not looking good. So you're going into siding and a roof on this property most likely. But look what they did here. You can use this porch. Check that out. Do a little extra paint on this bad boy right here, and you got yourself a brand new porch. You're probably going to want to replace that screen door. It's looking pretty old right there. It's probably creaky, and put a nice one on there. It'd be about $100, and you'll be good to go. Looks like they filled in our garage over here. We're going to go down to this next picture. Yep, they sure did. They went ahead and put a door in here so you could get in instead of a garage door. Maybe you drive a scooter and you can just take it right into your garage. Okay, good. Okay, hopefully it comes with this hose. That'll save you $30-40. All right. Driveway. Hey, check out that driveway. We'll pull up a bigger picture here. That driveway looks kind of rough, but does not look to need replaced. That's one thing to consider for sure. If you were to replace this driveway, you'd be looking at least $5,000, if not $10,000. That's 10% what you're paying for this house. So let's go ahead and count this as a good driveway. And look, they got this going up here to the backyard. That's good. You can pull your truck or trailer right up in there, open the thing. You got the signs that come with it. Okay, there's some quality. You'll be replacing this mailbox. That'll be about $100. You can get them cheaper than that, but you put a decent one out there, a plastic one with the little wooden pole thing. And you won't be replacing that for another 20 years. So that's good. Siding messed up. Ooh, let's look at this. Remember that grass growing up the side of the house? You got a lot of that going through here. We got a sag right here in the porch. You're going to be jacking that up and sandwiching in a new board. If you do this yourself, that's about a $20 project right there. You get, as long as you have a jack. If you don't have a jack, then you're going to be going buying or renting a jack, jacking it up a little bit, sandwiching in a new $20 piece of lumber, and you're all good to go. Maybe do it all through there so you get brand new all the way through. Might cost you $200 if you do all of them. I don't really know, but it's not expensive to fix that. That's not looking so hot right there. You might be replacing some of that. You need some new screen here. Plan on about, I don't know, maybe $500. You can get this porch done yourself. New siding. This looks to be wood siding. You're going to want to go ahead and put some vinyl siding on this. That's not going to be fixable, judging by these pictures. Probably looking, if you do it yourself, a couple grand for some siding, maybe $3,000. If you have it done professionally, you're probably looking at $8,000. They'll tear this off and tell you there's a beehive and they got stung by it. So then you got to pay for the hospital bill too, but that's okay. Just keep your EpiPen handy. All right, next picture. Oh, here we go. We get a little bit of the foundation. I'm going to consider this some of the foundation here. Definitely some wood siding. That's pretty nasty there. Foundation, you might need to do some patching, repair work on there. Let's just keep that in mind. Okay, we're going top to bottom here. All right. Well, top to bottom on this picture is going to lead us to this one. This ain't gonna cost you nothing to fix up. You just got, maybe $20 for some trimmers and trim that all back. Maybe cut it all back down here. Put some mulch in down on the ground there. Going top to bottom. It doesn't look Doesn't look like this is leaking up here. That's good. Then we're coming over here to the windows. We got this thing here. I'm not sure what they're doing, but you can fix that. I'll probably save these. These little green shutters look pretty good right here. Little arrows pointing up because that's where we're supposed to be looking. Yeah, they all look intact. They're not bad. The siding's pretty bad. We have a look at that. That's actually like a proper plug for the outside. So somebody did a decent job on putting that in there. Okay, let's look at the inside. We've looked at the outside as much as we can. So if this fan works, I'd probably just leave it. You're gonna have a renter there. It's kind of southern in Alabama, so they probably wouldn't mind this old brass style fan. If you were to replace that, you can get a similar one or a LED type one at the Walmart over there for about $80. They should have them in stock. This house does not look like it comes with appliances. Looks like a refrigerator goes right there. We're going to need some new flooring in here. This looks like the porch out here, the little sliding door. You'd be replacing that sliding door. If you do this owner-occupied, you might actually be able to clean that up and fix it and not have to replace it as long as you can get this door going okay. If it even is sliding door, can't tell. Might open up out to there, don't know. But just make sure you make it look good. You probably, as long as the glass isn't broken, you probably don't have to replace that. Flooring, yeah. So talking a lot about flooring. That looks to be concrete. Looks to be like a lot of water getting in here from something. I would think there's maybe a roof leak because that roof looked pretty bad. We're going to go ahead and replace this with LVT flooring. Looks to be about maybe 500 square feet, right? Maybe down way over to here. $1.89 square foot. You're looking at $700. You have a brand new floor in here that'll last you a good 10 years. All right, next picture. Ooh, more kitchen pictures. We love it. These cabinets. Check out these cabinets. They actually, as long as they aren't damaged or rotting, you may be able to refinish those. Sand them down a little bit, paint them. I mean, you're owner-occupied, right? So who cares if you got doors on your cabinet while you're fixing up the house? Just pull these doors off here, sand all this stuff here down, sand these doors down, paint them up. Make sure you pull the hardware off those doors. Might replace it with a new, fancier hardware. It's not too expensive to do that. This also got a fan right here. I think that's a different fan. If you're going to replace one fan in this house, you might as well go down to the Walmart, buy all of them they got, and just replace them all with the same fan at the same time. They're only $70, $80 for an LED fan over at the Walmart. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to need a new kitchen counter. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and, if we can fix these cabinets up, we're going to go ahead and pull them all off the wall so that we can get them all sanded down. We're going to fix up all this wall. We're going to go ahead and put some, if you're good at drywall, put some drywall in here. If not, you're going to figure out how to replace this paneling or put some new paneling over it to make it look good. Looks like it's pretty dirty in this house. So anyway, once the cabinets are done, we can replace this countertop. We'll put a granite in here, probably I would say a light granite because it's kind of dark in this room. And I don't plan on opening up this wall any for a new window. So put in a light granite countertop in here. Might cost you maybe, I don't know, $1,000. You can probably get it for less. That's fine. Okay, next picture. Moving on. Ooh, we got a fireplace. That's where that chimney goes. We know what side of the house this is. See how wet this is in here? Something's going on. I don't see any ceiling leaks. It's got to be water coming up from the bottom or coming in from outside there, but we got a chimney. Yeah, see that brick there doesn't look bad. These little fireplace covers here, those are a couple $100. Plan on replacing that with a new one. Unless you can clean that up, maybe you can clean that up. I don't know. It depends how good you are, how much work you want to put into it. It's a couple $100. Let's go down here now. What is this? Reverse view. Hey, we're going upstairs here. We got a little door here, goes out to our old garage maybe. Yep, this right here, we've got a door. This door you can probably clean up. Might just replace the whole thing. Need a new screen door. See, doors are kind of expensive if you go replace them. Probably about $400 or $500 for a door. To where if you can just sand that down and paint it or stain it, you're saving yourself $300-400 there. You're doing it owner occupied, so it's not like you're paying for the labor. You can just sit on your couch and watch some football if it ever comes back while you're sanding down the door. All right, hey, we got some electrical up here. We know we have electrical in this wall with this here. So if you were to put your range here, you could reasonably put a microwave in here too, because, there's a socket. Okay, Good, good. Okay, that's good info we got there. Ooh, this is, as a narcissist or a masochist, this is where we keep our victims. We go up this stair and the victims stay in this room right here. Yeah, okay, we need some new flooring. That looks crooked. That's not attached to the wall there. Yeah, usually these go up at an angle. That kind of fell off or broke, so you'd be putting that in. I don't really know what to do with these walls here. You're going to probably be taking all that apart, and hopefully you'll re-drywall it all. If you're any good with drywall, I'd just put drywall in there. Okay, next picture, bathroom. Okay, for bathrooms, we talked about whether we could save the bathroom or tear it out. In this house, you're going to be tearing it out just based on this picture. We have a wire right here that's probably keeping this light on. You're going to be doing some electrical in this bathroom. They might have added this on later because there's no actual electrical in this room. New vanity, new flooring, new toilet. Okay. $150 for a vanity, $150 for a toilet, and hopefully there's a shower in there that you can use. We don't have a picture of it, so we don't know. This room, okay, we're inside. Ceiling, fan, see this fan here? That definitely needs to be replaced. Ceiling on down. You know, scanning, the windows are probably pretty old and all need replaced. You're looking at $200 to $300 per window. You get them about $150 each if you do it yourself. Maybe even less. These sockets here, can't quite tell if those are 2-prong or 3-prong, but if they're 2-prong, we're going to have to replace them with 3-prong, put in new wire. Okay, what is this over here? This definitely needs new flooring going down the wall, new paint, all that stuff. Pull all this off of here in your spare time while you're living here. Pull all that off of there and make it look nice in that room. Okay, we're talking about holes in the walls. Got a couple here. Looks like this is their dance studio or their taekwondo dojo. Not really sure, but it got some holes, mirror on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and fix all this stuff. New fan. Yeah, you're going to be doing some drywall in this house. This looks like plaster possibly. So you're going to be tearing all that out, putting in some drywall, make it look real good. Okay. All right, more holes. Probably got your pet raccoon living in there. That's fine. Let me see. Yep, doors. You need new doors. Just plan on new doors all throughout this house. Once you get started, you might as well keep going. Okay, here's a good picture we want to check out. Remember, top to bottom, we have lighting, we have electrical. These don't look bad. Maybe some water damage right here. But the fact that it has a full basement, you can pretty much do a lot of this work yourself. You're just going to go buy a 2x8 or 2x6, whatever this happens to be, and sandwich it in if it needs to be replaced, and you're good to go. Yeah, flooring, that looks bad. Looks like concrete, like it should be. Looks dry. Maybe a little water over here. You might do a little sealing around, the little basement sealer paint. You put it on here. Maybe keep a little moisture out. Put a dehumidifier there. It'd probably help too. But I don't see any cracks in there, so that's good. That's good stuff, actually. I like it. Hey, we got ourselves an American flag. We got a patriot that lives here or lived here. That's good. We'll probably leave that hanging up there. Let me see. Water heater. That doesn't look too bad. Could be older. Don't know, but it's not leaking, so that's good. Probably just leave that. We got some metal poles here. They don't look rusty, so that's good. They're holding the house up. You got all that stuff. Okay. All right, good. The other thing you might want to do if you're going to put a renter in here, you can insulate all this up through here. It's not too expensive to do yourself. Yeah, you just get the insulation. It rolls out and staples into these boards here. Pretty quick and easy job. Just, probably cost you, I don't know, $500 maybe. I don't know how big the basement is. Could be $1,000. Put a bunch of insulation in there. Okay. Yeah, okay, and that's it. So let's switch over to our slide. All right, what to fix first? We saw the roof. We're going to go ahead and do the roof. Let's check and see if that house had gutters. Doesn't look to have gutters on it. It might, don't know. Can't tell. Doesn't really look like it has gutters. So you're going to go ahead and ask your roofer to put gutters on there at the same time. It's going to help with water penetration, getting the water away from the foundation. Probably dry that basement right out. Okay, and on the interior bathrooms, guess what? It's a full bathroom remodel. If you do it yourself, you can do it for about $3,000. You get a bathtub, you get all the supplies, you get a vanity, you get a light, you get a toilet. You can do it for $3,000 or less. If you're good with plumbing, you go ahead and do that too. In the kitchen, we saw the kitchen. We're going to have to hopefully save those countertops. That'll save us $500 to $1,000, depending on how many cabinets you want. We're going to replace the kitchen counters, $1,000. We have a bunch more little flooring work to do right there. We saw the flooring. I'm going to say you're going to have to go ahead and do flooring throughout the whole house. The house was listed as 1,232 square feet. Take that times $2, so plan on $2,500 to go ahead and replace all the flooring with brand new LVT flooring that'll last you for a good 10, 20 years. All right, the bedrooms. We had the Taekwondo Dojo room. That's a bedroom. We'll go ahead and fix all that up. You're going to be doing wall work. You're going to be doing some drywall. You're going to be replacing fans. Can you live in there right now is the question. I really think you're probably going to have some trouble living in that house right now. So if you want to do it as owner-occupied, what you're going to do is go ahead and fix all this stuff, right? And make sure you have some place to sleep while you're there. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bedroom. If you're doing owner-occupied, you can just kind of sleep in the kitchen if you want. You're not going to be renting it yet, so don't worry about that. You're just keeping the cost down on fixing her up. Okay, the other interior items. I mean, you saw the stairway. It's had like a little carpet runner down it with some plain boards. We're going to probably go ahead and put some nicer covering in there in that stair. You might end up having to replace that whole stairway that was in that house. Not really sure, but if you do, go ahead and do it with a wood stair, and then maybe you could carpet that stairway. Kind of up to you. Landscaping. Let's switch back. Let's not switch back. We saw that it had grass and everything growing up the side of the house. You need to trim all that back. Let's switch back. There might be some trees. Yeah, look at this tree here. That tree there is probably hanging over the house. We got this tree back here. But look at all this crap on top of the house. You definitely got some stuff. You can see it just right in this picture here. All this crap up on top of the house, little branches and leaves and all that crap. When you put some gutters in here, they're going to go ahead and fill up with all that debris that you didn't bother to trim back these trees. And, you're going to be climbing up there. Your tenant's going to be climbing up there and falling off, breaking a leg. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and trim these trees back, put in gutters. I recommend this stuff you can find at the Home Depot. It's actually called gutter stuff. It's like really weird fiberglassy type, I don't know, spongy stuff that you put into the gutter. It just stuffs right into the gutter super easily. You can do it yourself. You don't need to be a professional. It doesn't take any screws. It takes a pair of scissors to cut the gutter stuff to length. And it stuffs right in there and doesn't allow any debris into the gutter. Okay, switching back. All right, grass. Yeah, so with the grass here, let's see. We don't really have much grass. We have more weeds and stuff like that. So we're going to trim this down. We might go ahead and put some weed and feed on here. You can go to the hardware store and get a $60 bag of weed and feed and a spreader. And you go ahead and spread all that weed and feed around here. It'll kill a lot of these weeds that are in here, and it'll help your grass grow. Whatever grass is left. If you really want to fix this up, you'll go buy, $100 worth of grass seed. Put it in the spreader after a week or two of that weed and feed being down. Put some grass seed out there. Just Google how to do all that. You can fix up your lawn real cheap and pretty quickly. Okay, and mulch. So yeah, we mentioned around that porch, with that, let's see here, the porch here. Keep all this stuff from growing up there. You trim it all back, turn it into dirt right down here, and throw some mulch on top of it. You need about 3 inches of mulch to make sure this stuff's not going to grow back. If it does start to grow back, just start pulling the roots of it out, and don't let it get up here on your porch. It's not paying rent, you are. Okay. All right, that covers it for that house. That's what you look for. You can figure it out pretty quick. When you go through that house, you may decide it's too much of a fixer-upper, and maybe that price is a little too high. You're probably, I'd say $60,000 going into that house. That's just kind of off the top of my head. You're going to pay for a roof and all that stuff. You never know what you're going to find in there, probably some mold and all that. So we'll go ahead and try to get that property for $50,000 because nobody can move into it right now, and nobody wants it. Okay, now we talked about the repairs on that house, and we're going to go a little deeper into what materials we need. For the roof, you really don't want to put on a super expensive roof, but it is good to get a mid-grade shingle, a little architectural shingle, or they call them a three-dimensional shingle. Those will last a good 15, 20 years, no problem. Your roofer will probably recommend that. You might be in an area where they require you to use tile, or perhaps it's better to have the tile roof, like if it's a hurricane zone or something, that tile will last a lot longer than a shingle will. Shingles are gone in the first tornado or hurricane. Tile tends to stick around a little longer. For the bathroom, yeah, go ahead and replace that tub or shower, whatever's in there, with a brand new fiberglass or resin tub. That'll cost you with the surround probably about $600 if you get a good quality one. You want to target spending about $150 on a vanity. You can usually find them stock at the hardware store with the cabinet and the counter all built into it. Then you're going to need to go ahead and buy, you probably $30, $40 for a decent faucet. You don't want anything super high quality, but you want it to look good for your tenant in the future. You want to do about $60 on a mirror. Delta has these really nice ones that are like, high quality glass or whatever. They cost about $60, about 34 inches by 32 inches. They look really good over most vanities. For the vanity light, you can go on Amazon, you can go to Walmart, you can go to the hardware store. Hardware store tends to be a little more expensive for these, but you can find one, a good, decent, really good-looking one for $60 somewhere. For the fan, you need an exhaust fan in your bathroom. A lot of people don't bother putting one in, but you really do as a landlord, because otherwise your tenant is going to go ahead and make your ceiling all moldy, and then they'll complain to you that your house is moldy. So make sure you put in a $90 exhaust fan. It might cost about $120 with the venting. That it has a little dryer type vent, those little tubes on the dryer, little silver tube. That comes off the top of it and either goes through your roof or outside of your house. If you're not good at roofing, have your roofer do that at the same time that they're doing the roof. And then for the toilet, you probably target about $150 for the toilet and all the little stuff that goes with it, the little hose and all that. Wax ring, you can get into it, $150, maybe a little more, maybe a little less if you find one on sale. But don't get a really cheap, tiny toilet. You're going to get some big old guy in there who doesn't quite fit on it, and he's not going to want to rent your house because he doesn't fit on the toilet. He's not going to tell you that. He's just going to tell you he doesn't like the house. Okay, for the kitchen, make sure you get some clean appliances there. You can do them used or new. I'd say in this house, you might as well go with a decent set of used appliances since you're going to be repainting those cabinets most likely anyway. As long as they're not full of dents and everything, you can go ahead and slap them in there. It might cost you $1,500. You could get a whole set for that house. If you go ahead and do a range, refrigerator, and microwave all brand new, you're probably looking about $2,500 for a decent set of all that stuff. And if you want a premium rental, I forget to say this a lot with your refrigerator, go ahead and get a refrigerator that has water in the door. Tenants seem to love to have filtered water that's cold and ice coming out of the refrigerator door. And I can't blame them because I do too. For your counters, you can probably go with a good laminate in that property, but I'm kind of leaning towards granite nowadays. It's lasts a lot longer than even a really good high quality laminate. Even though these laminates now, I'm telling you, man, you can't even tell the difference between really good high quality laminate and granite until you start knocking on it, So I'd probably go with granite in this house. It doesn't look like there's too much counter space, so it shouldn't be too big of an expense. For the cabinets, you can probably refinish those. If you can't refinish those, go over to the hardware store, and they'll have cabinets in stock. You can buy those brand new and put them in today. It's quick and easy and inexpensive. If you start ordering custom cabinets, your cost goes through the roof that you just fixed on that house. For flooring, you can do that whole house about $2,400 worth of a laminate vinyl plank or a laminate vinyl tile. You go ahead and get those. They comes in big old boxes, either 3 or 4 feet, 5 feet long. And you just go to the hardware store, buy a bunch of those, come back, and they all stick together. You just stick them to the floor. Yeah, it's really, really easy. Yeah, you're not going to be cleaning any carpets in this house. They're pretty much wrecked. Okay, electrical. That house seemed to have some decent electrical outside, but then it had some wires running in and around the inside and bathroom we saw there. What you want to do is check that panel out, make sure it's a 150 amp or 200 amp panel. I'm doubting this house comes with central air, but it might. If it has central air in it, it probably already has one of these two things, which is good. The main thing you want to do after that is make sure your outlets are grounded. We couldn't quite tell from those pictures, and I didn't care enough to zoom in on those pictures. But you can take a look at the pictures and tell if they're 2-prong or 3-prong. And if you're there, get a ground tester. Just Google it. You can get them off Amazon for $10, and you stick them in the plug, and it lights up if it's grounded and turns red if it's not. GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter. These go in your bathroom and near your sinks. They pop the power and cut the power if something falls in the sink so you don't get electrocuted. You're going to want those near your water sources, and in a lot of places, you have to by code. HVAC, that house probably needs some central air if you want to put central air in there. It is Alabama. I would not live in Alabama without central air. For that house, you probably need a 3-ton unit. That's going to cost you about $3,500 if you call around for some quotes. Some other people might be trying to charge about $4 or $5 grand for that house. I bet you get it done for $3,500, maybe $4 grand. As long as there's ductwork and all that in the house, then they just slap in some stuff and they're done in a day. For the furnace, I don't remember if we saw the furnace there. I wasn't really looking for it, but when you go out there, you want to turn it on. Turn temperature on that way up so it blows some hot air. If it blows hot air, then you know it's working. You can go ahead from there, and you know you probably don't have to buy a new furnace for a while. And typically with furnaces, instead of buying a new furnace, if you're going to occupy the house yourself, you can fix them in a lot of cases if something breaks. Paint. You want to go with like a mid-grade paint. You want to go with anything too cheap. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there painting 3 or 4 times across one wall. If you get a mid-grade paint, you can do it in 1 or 2 coats. And that's pretty much what your painter's going to use if you're paying somebody, because otherwise they're going to be in there all day painting over what they already painted. For the siding, you want to go ahead and switch that wood siding over to vinyl. That way it doesn't rot or crack or need to be painted. Makes it super inexpensive to change out if you're doing it yourself. If you pay somebody to do it, they're probably, you're probably looking at $8 grand for that house, maybe more. Not really sure, but you can do it at least half that price if you do it yourself. And, you're a couple days work and you got yourself some new siding on there. Landscaping, trim those trees back. If you go to the hardware store, you can get like a 20-foot pole that goes up there and you can just start sawing limbs out of your trees. If they're higher than that, then, well, you really need to get somebody out there that has like one of them bucket lifts, and they'll go ahead and trim those back for you for probably $500. Just get them away from the house. Your grass, we talked about this. Google how to take care of grass yourself. There's a lot of suggestions out there, a lot of good tips. But look, the main thing you have to do, put down some weed and feed, and then keep your grass 3 inches tall. Don't mow it down so it's 1 inch or a ½ inch long. Just mow it every week 3 inches tall. That's what you have to do. It'll save you some money on new sod. Mulch. So with that house, what we want to do is pull everything away from the side of the house, since we're going to live there, pull all that vegetation out of there. And we're going to put in about a 2-foot set of mulch going from the side of the house out into the yard. And we want to make about 3 inches deep. You can go buy bulk mulch. It probably costs you about $200 to mulch that entire house. If you go pick it up yourself, probably costs you about $300 to mulch that entire house if you get it delivered. So there you go. That looks like about cover that house. You're as far as time frame goes, good luck with that. It's going to take you about a year to get that one ready. All right, as always, we need to beware of Happy Herbie. He's going to try to hide things from you. He's not going to tell you there was a pack of badgers living in the walls and they're not paying rent. He's not going to tell you that it's all moldy. He's not going to tell you that he fixed that electrical poorly. He's also not going to tell you if there's water leaking everywhere. On that house, we definitely saw that there's water intrusion into the house somewhere. That floor looked really wet for a little kitchen, and everything looked just wet in there. Poor repairs. Doesn't look like that house was repaired at all, so you don't need to worry about that one. Mold, definitely a lot of water in there. I think you're probably going to have some mold problems. On your home inspection, I don't know if an inspector would even bother going into that house, or if you get that house for $50 grand, I don't even know if you'd bother paying the $400 for an inspection. Who cares at that point? But that inspector will add on a mold test. It might take a day or two to get that back, but he'll let you know if there's mold in there. I'll save you $400 right now, and you can go ahead and donate that through Bitcoin over to me. But I'll save you that $400 and tell you, yes, there's absolutely mold in that house. Inside the walls, yeah, you saw the holes in the walls. I mean, I imagine there's little critters living in there. There's all, could be a little beehive, all that, like we talked about. So, but definitely watch that out. Now, that house was a bad example, but when you're going through a house, you can tell a lot of times if there's stuff going on in the walls that isn't good. If it has that old plaster type lathe on the walls, and you can tell because it's rougher, it's not drywall. You can tell if it's not drywall. I guarantee you inside those walls is messed up. If that house was built before 1960, I guarantee you inside those walls is messed up. So plan on that. If you're doing electrical in a house, it's the walls that matter, right? Because you got to tear all that stuff out. And if you're tearing out plaster, well, what are you going to do? You got to put in new plaster, or you got to tear the wall out and put in drywall. So keep that in mind. These older houses, if you're doing electrical, you're pulling out, you're running new wires and all that, there's all kinds of stuff they put in there. It's not a straight up and down stud in the wall. Usually, you got a stud here, and 16 inches later, you got another stud. In these older houses, you got a stud here, 3 inches later, you got a stud put in crooked because they didn't know what they were doing. And then 4 inches after that, you got another straight stud. So you got to figure out how to fish wire through all that. And a lot of times you got to pull the wall all the way out. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, that's how Happy Herbie tries to take your money. He'll tell you he did all this stuff to that house. That owner's going to tell you, there ain't no mold in there. You can go ahead and y'all get it tested. I lived in there for years and didn't have to worry about mold. Well, Happy Herbie, he don't care. Once he gives you that deed, you're pretty much stuck with it. I mean, what are you going to do? Sue him over $50,000? You only put $10,000 down for the loan, 20%. So if you can even get financing on $50,000, that's another thing we'll discuss later on. You probably want to go with a $62,000, $63,000, $64,000 house so you can actually get 30-year fixed rate financing. Anyway, next slide. Okay, so that pretty much covers buying a fixer-upper. You got Herbie here. He's got your deed here for that house we just looked at. He's going to go ahead and hand it over to you, and you're going to give him this stack of cash for it. That was before we drew this, even before we looked at that house. That was a pretty good representation of what that house looks like, huh? Okay, well, there should be a little subscribe thing somewhere over in this area. There should be a little thumb somewhere down right below the thing here. And check out this video that's somewhere over here. All right, talk to you later, everybody.